What's up, everybody? I'm Sly The Movie Guy, and here's my movie review of Doctor Sleep, directed by Mike Flanagan, the director of Oculus, Ouija, Origins of Evil, Gerald's Game, and this film stars Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, Kyliegh Curran, and the rest of the other cast and crew. And in this film, years following the events of The Shining, a now adult Dan Torrance must protect a young girl with similar powers from a cult known as the True Knot, who prey on children with powers to remain immortal. This was one of my most anticipated films of 2019 because it's a sequel to The Shining, one of my favorite horror films of all time. I'll review that movie on the channel. You can check it out. I'll put the link down below in the description box. So my excitement levels was like up here, like to the brim. The anticipation hype level was like way up. And the director Mike Flanagan was directing it, and that was like I was really excited because Mike Flanagan did a fantastic job with the horror films I mentioned that he directed: Oculus, Ouija, Origins of Evil, especially Gerald's Game, one that came out I think 2017, which is an adaptation to a Stephen King novel, and I was really that film really surprised me how good it was, and I recommend you check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And Ouija Origins of Evil, I recommend that too. He did a fantastic job with those films, and I was just happy just to see him going to direct Doctor Sleep. And I was just like, can't wait to see what direction he's going to take with this film, the style he's going to add in this film, the sequel to the 1980 classic, what he's going to do with that. So I was excited and a little bit scared because usually a film that came out in the 80s and 90s that's a classic in horror or action or whatever, I get a little nervous because it's a different director, and can these different directors capture the same magic as the original film? Can they do that? And a little bit of me was not I wasn't too scared, completely like my fear level went up because Mike Flanagan, I'm pretty sure he's not going to mess it up since it's a horror film, and then the original film is a horror film, and he's directing a sequel that's a horror film. I was a little bit scared, but not too much. So I went and moved there, still excited to see this movie. And all I got to say is, I enjoy this movie. This movie lives up to The Shining, and I can say that it does live up to it, and it doesn't disappoint. It's one of my favorite films of 2019. I left the movie theater pleasantly surprised and happy. I was just like, whew, thank God. It's really it's good. And that's what I like about this movie. The direction that Mike Flanagan takes and style, it really works here. And he does it different. He doesn't copy too much stuff from The Shining, in which I'll get to the part in a review where it might seem similar to the Shining film. But what I like about it is Mike Flanagan just takes his movie to a different approach. He still kept it to the Shining universe, so it still connects to the Shining, to the original film. But what he does is he brings new stuff here, and that's what I like about it. He'll give you the unsettled. It makes you feel unsettled watching it, and to give you the scares and stuff. And I like that. It's a different approach. Like what The Shining did, give you the unsettled subtlety moments, make you unsettled watching it and get scared and stuff, put you on the edge of your seat. This film does the exact thing like what The Shining did, just in a different way. And I like what Mike Flanagan does here, and he screenplayed this film, so I really like that. Where a director can direct and write the film, I really love that. And Mike Flanagan did a fantastic job with this film. I mean, this movie is so well directed, and it was just everything about it. And I'm just gonna leave it as that because I don't want to get too dealt with it. But he does a fantastic job. Basically, what they do fantastic job is where our main character Dan Torrance, which is now he's a full grown adult. In The Shining, they call him Danny, but now Danny is a full grown adult, and I love the way they did with his character as an adult. And I won't get any spoilers, but man, it's just they do a fantastic job. Because in this movie, he has an alcohol problem, and that he goes to AA, and I really like how they made us care for his character, because like the stuff that happened to, because him as a child, if you have seen in China, you know what happened, and now it's like it's haunting him and stuff, and now he's drinking because what all has happened to him, and you really feel for this character, and I really was rooting for this character, and especially when it comes to like the main antagonist, you definitely root for him and stuff, and his connection with the girl and stuff when he finally meets her and stuff. I really like that, and that really was really good in this film. Especially like when it comes to like when he's having like the dream stuff and stuff like that. I really like that, and then he's trying to figure out how to use his powers and stuff, his psychic powers. Because as a kid, we sit like if you see it in China, you know like how like he has his little psychic thing, and now in this film he's an adult. He trying to figure out how to use it and stuff because like one like the character said like calls him like Dr. Sleep and stuff. He trying to figure out how to use it and stuff, and I really love how they make him, because now when you're a kid and stuff, you do like in these movies when you do stuff like have these psychic powers, you use it and stuff and like that. But now you're an adult, you're like, what should I use it for now? Because now you're an adult, you have this mindset. What you should use stuff for and stuff like that. What should you use your powers? And I really love that about the character, and the performance by Ewan McGregor really works, and that's what makes that's why I think why the character works, because the performance by Ewan McGregor is fantastic. He does a fantastic job in this film. My God, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Him as the adult Danny in this movie is great. And I think you could pick other actors, but Ewan McGregor does a fantastic job, and I think Ewan McGregor is an underrated actor, so I think he did a fantastic job as Danny Torrance here. One of the things I say really works well is the main villains in this film. The main villains, the True Knots, they are absolutely fantastic, and the performance really works because Rebecca Ferguson, man, she absolutely does great here. Absolutely, probably like one of like the best like villains on screen in 2019. Usually in films when it comes to like superheroes, drama, comedy, whatever. Usually, like now in films, now like in recent years, it's just been like one note villains. There have not been like great villains like in recent years. They just there just keep our heroes going, but they don't really like flesh them out and still give like villains like the main reason why they're doing stuff. Here, it works. Man, Rebecca Ferguson is absolutely great as Rose the Hat. Man, she is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely, I can say probably like stole the show. They really like gave her like great screen time, and I really liked it. The villains, they really put me on edge of my seat, and I think Mike Flanagan did a fantastic job of writing these characters in here, because the way I didn't know how they were going to do the villains here, I didn't know like going to this film. That was one of the big surprises, like the villains here, and I was like really surprised. I was like, whoa. I didn't expect that, and they really did a fantastic job. And really gave your main you really like hate the villains. You want to see them lose, and then get that and the motivations you like that's given here in this film. I was just blown away, and I was pleasantly happy. I was like, yep, I'm in. This they did a fantastic job, and that was one of the things I really loved about this film. The main villains. My God, now, and I can see myself watching film because of that. That was fantastic. Let me get on to this. Now, right now, the child actors, this is one of the things that can really, the child actors, I've said before, this is a part that can be really hard in the film, and how can you work with them? And Kyliegh Curran absolutely does a fantastic job. She was this is like the bright star moment. This is fantastic. She does a fantastic job, and the character background, like her psychic powers, when her and Danny Torrance finally meet, they do great on that on screen. She does fantastic, and I love her character. They really give you like her backstory, like her psychic abilities and stuff, like what she's going through and stuff like that, like how she uses power and stuff like that, and what's going through her mind and stuff. I really love it, and like this is the first time like having these like this psychic abilities. Like she don't know how to use them and stuff like that. It's like that. What's going on and stuff, and they really give you like good backstory on it. And you see her parents in the film and stuff. They don't know what's going on with her daughter and stuff. They don't like they can't figure it out. It's terrifying them and stuff. I really like that, and it really works well. Reminds me like a little bit of The Shining, a little bit like how they did it, and it really they did a fantastic job with that. Cinematography, camera work, absolutely fantastic. They do a fantastic job here. The cinematography is great. The style in this film, really love. Man, they do a fantastic job. And like I said, the unsettlety in this movie absolutely works. And I really, really love that about this film. Now to the thing that I've heard online so much about after seeing the movie. The thing where everybody like this little fan service or whatever like that towards the end of the film like that, stuff like that with the thing that like felt similar to China. The third act, which has been shown on the if you see the trailers, which the trailers, well, I forgot to say, would really look good. Go on, like as the film was coming out, the trailers they were absolutely fantastic. Trailers kept showing like our adult Danny looking at the split door stuff and all that, looking at that and going back to the hotel. That is in the third. That's closely to the third act of the film, which that's showed in the trailer stuff. That is there, so that is showing. That is part of like I'd say made like a fair service to the Shining, but it didn't really. But it played so well. It flowed with the film and the storyline. I say the storyline really flowed well, and that really flowed into the storyline. I thought that part really worked in the film. I really thought it worked fine. It served a purpose here. It really does serve a purpose, because when you're doing something, if you're doing a sequel to an original film, you got to add some stuff to it. I mean, you can't just like brush it like, oh, the first film doesn't exist. All sequels do that. You got to add something there. I mean, we've seen it in other films. You got to add stuff from the original film. It just, you got to connect something. It got to make a connection. Else why does the film exist at all? So I thought that part had to be in there with the hotel stuff, and I really appreciate that. And the third act, ooh, it is really good. The last third act kept me on the edge of my seats. It was well directed. I really liked it. It's like nail biting everything. I really like that. The third act really was good, and I really like that part about it. The third act, and I'm not gonna get any spoilers, really left me surprised, and it like kind of left a little bit towards like a sequel coming. And I don't want to get spoiled. I would love to, but man, it does leave like a sequel, like for something more. And I can't wait if they are gonna do if they're gonna do a third installment. I can't wait. I really can't wait for it. It really they really left me, because it really like it had a lot of things going. It had a lot of things going on, and it was so investing, so suspense that I was like, wow, how did they pull this off? And that was really great. Now to my little negatives. This like, and I know people are like, oh, you didn't like the film. I did like the film, but there's all films are not perfect and everything. Even if I give a film an A+, it still has some little issues, but that would it hurt the film? My little issues is like certain parts of the film was kind of like, I'd say like certain what some characters do and stuff. I like they didn't have to add it in there. They didn't have to put that in there. And some parts in the movie kind of was like a little bit of slow burn, because the film is like 2 hours and 26 minutes, which The Shining is 2 hours and 23 minutes. But The Shining, certain parts, everything worked in that film. Some parts in this film, I kind of like say, okay, they could have like shortened it up a little bit and stuff like that. And I felt like that a little bit. There's some parts I kind of like with like those off a little bit, like say, okay, got this part and stuff. And that's pretty much it. Overall, I enjoy this movie. This movie is great. If you're a fan of The Shining and you was kind of like a little bit kind of like scared about this film, please don't. Go and see this film. I promise you this will not disappoint you. If you're one of the people that was a big fan of The Shining film, this film does live up to it. This will not let you down. I really recommend this film, and I'm going to give this film a solid A. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this film. Did you like it or not? Let me know. And let me know in the comment section which film do you like. Which film do you like better, The Shining or Doctor Sleep? I think The Shining is a little bit better than Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep is a great film, but I think The Shining is maybe a little bit better than Doctor Sleep. That's my opinion, but let me know in the comment section down below. And let me know which Stephen King film do you like in 2019. Let me know that in the voting poll, because like Pet Sematary came out, It Chapter 2 came out. Let me know on the voting poll right here on the thing. Click on that little icon button up top. Let me know. And as always, if you like this video, click thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, click subscribe and the bell button. That's so I can see you next time on Sly the Movie Guy. Peace.